Well, that was a wild ride of a movie. Hi everyone, you are watching my YouTube channel where I talk about all things relating to movies. I talk about movies, movie trailers, and then analyze certain movie scenes or movies as a whole. If any of that sounds interesting to you, consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It really helps me out. I'm trying to get to 800 subscribers by the end of 2021, so I would really enjoy it if you would join the team. Today's video is dedicated to the most recent release from Zach Snyder called Army of the Dead. This is a Netflix original just starring Dave Bautista, and he plays the main character in this, and it's just a load of fun. Before I get started on the actual review of this movie, I'm going to tell you first that it's a completely non-spoiler review of this movie. Anything I say in this video will not spoil the movie for you. I won't spoil the ending or any of the major plot points that occur in this movie in general. I'll be giving you my thoughts on the pros and cons of this movie, and then at the end I'll tell you whether I would watch it again or not. If I'm able to rewatch a movie or consider buying it, purchasing it, then I consider that a win. The premise of the movie is as follows. Following a zombie outbreak in Las Vegas, a group of mercenaries take the ultimate gamble, venturing into the quarantine zone to pull off the greatest heist ever attempted. Now, I did do a trailer reaction to this movie, and if you want to check that out, it'll be in the cards up above or in the link down below. If you want to check that out before you see the rest of this video, go ahead and just pause this and take a break. I thought the trailer was very enjoyable, very entertaining. I thought it was really cool, especially the zombie tiger. I think that was definitely the highlight of that trailer for me. The zombie tiger really made a huge impact on me. So first, let's go over the positive notes of this movie. This is truly a Zack Snyder movie where it basically takes a concept and brings it to life in a fun, kind of dumb way. I say a dumb movie, not in the sense that it's stupid, but it's just the premise is a little out there. He takes that kind of movie and it knows what it is and just makes it a fun, enjoyable experience for everyone. Instead of taking a dumb movie that thinks that they're smart and taking it very seriously. This is the kind of content that I really love to see, and it's really cool for a Netflix original as well. Seeing this on streaming, it really did mean a lot that it was made for streaming. I did have a lot of fun for this movie. The beginning of this movie was very exciting for me. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun and a cool way to introduce the characters. Speaking of the characters, Dave Bautista's performance in this is really fun. I think he really enjoyed this movie and working with it and that kind of thing. I would love to see more of this kind of content from Dave Bautista. Dave Bautista, if you're listening, if you're watching, probably not, but it's fine. I really like this movie for you. I really think it was a very good choice for you career-wise. It's just a fun movie, you know, and that's what a lot of people are kind of wanting right now. It's just plain fun. We just got out of a pandemic. This had very, very obvious markers of the pandemic and what the government is doing now, so it was kind of interesting to watch that. But we're sticking to positives. Another positive that I liked were the fight scenes. A lot of the fight scenes were very well done. I liked it a lot. Most of the fight scenes were very entertaining. I really liked the character interactions during and while the movie was playing and during the actual battles themselves. I think that there's definitely room for improvement, but at the same time, it was just fun to watch. I was like, oh, there was a lot of moments where I was like, where I was just kind of like, wow. Took me off guard, but it's okay, that's what movies are for. He does make this concept, which in the hands of another creator could have been done differently. He does take this concept and make it more interesting than it could have been if it was in the hands of some corporate guy or whatever, somebody who's not in the creative realm. He really took this idea and made it his own. I think he was the DP on this as well. The picture looked fantastic. So Zack Snyder was the cinematographer slash DP, whatever term you want to use, on this project. So he was the one really creating the shots himself. It was really fun. I liked it a lot. A lot of the scenes were very beautiful to look at. A lot of the shots were really cool to see. This movie really sets a precedence for the rest of it with the beginning title sequence and then like after everything else. The middle of the movie is interesting, to say the least. I'm trying to focus on the positives here, and it is an interesting middle of the movie. The second act does catch your interest for some parts of it, and there's a lot of honor dedicated to his daughter through this movie. I can really see how Zack Snyder really pulled a lot of his emotions into and poured it into this movie and Dave Bautista's performance. All in all, the biggest positive that I had is that this movie was just a lot of fun to watch. I was like living out my Call of Duty dreams in this. It was great. Very fun action sequences, really fun performance by Dave Bautista. I really liked a lot of the shots that were done and the composition of a lot of the scenes. Really cool stuff coming from Zack Snyder right now. One last positive that I have before I go into the other part of this review is that the end scene of this movie is really powerful. Just gonna say that right off the bat. I really liked it. It's a lot to take emotionally at times. Before I go into the next part of the review, which I'm sure you're all waiting to hear, but if you would consider liking this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel, that'd be amazing. If you really like what you're hearing, go ahead and ring the bell notification so that you are one of the first people to know when I upload a new video. But if you're satisfied with just liking this video, I'm okay with that. Comment down below if you agree with anything that I've been saying so far. Now let's switch gears and talk about the negatives. One big negative that I have of this movie is that it drags on for a little bit too long. So this is a movie and movies are getting a lot longer now, but I think this movie could have not needed to hit the 2-hour mark. It definitely dragged on a little bit longer. A lot of the scenes could have been cut or shortened at least. Another negative that I do have about this movie is the action sequences. I know I just praised the action sequences, but sometimes they do drag on for a little bit too long, and the camera work in it is not amazing. Zach Snyder goes for a more handheld look and a more raw sort of feel, like kind of like the Blair Witch Project. It doesn't always pay off that well because I can't tell what's happening half the time. A couple of the characters, I understand why they were there, but they just needed to die. A couple of characters that I think that this movie could have done without. They didn't need them in there for any of the plot. They were just extra bodies. There are a lot of characters that are introduced into this heist and are brought into the team, and they just weren't necessary. So unnecessary characters is something that happens a lot in especially major blockbuster movies. In this one, I really think it was very, very prominent, and like we didn't need maybe 3 or 4 of the characters, which is a lot of characters. So all in all, the movie's too long, there are unnecessary characters, and the action sequences are a little bit dicey. But the positive notes are that the action sequences, some of them are really fun. Dave Bautista's performance is great, and you get a lot of what you want out of a zombie movie, which is rated R gore. There is a twist in this movie, and I was not expecting it at all. This movie is just a lot of fun. I think Zach Snyder and the horror genre is amazing. This is kind of just what I want out of a zombie movie, and Zach Snyder took a unique take on this movie because the zombies don't act like regular zombies, and these guys are vigilantes trying to, you know, provide for themselves. I do think that there was a little bit too much in the world building on the world outside of Zombieland, and instead of focusing on Vegas Zombieland instead of everything else outside. In conclusion, I will say that I would rewatch this again, and that is saying a lot. It's just a fun movie to watch. Let me know what you guys think about this movie if you have watched it, but if you have not watched it, let me know what you think about this movie in general, what I said, down in the comments below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great random Thursday, and I will see you on the other side of the screen.